Hi, I'm Allison.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
Riley.
You can hear you. I got my headphones on.
Happy hump day, Riley and Allison. Ooh, you got a Carolina
Friday
shirt on.
I know.
Go Carolina.
It's my Friday, so...
Oh, that's right. You guys are headed to Oktoberfest? Is that right?
Yep. We're going to Helen, Georgia.
Helen, Georgia.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, hold on, I'll show you a picture. It's actually kind of cool. The town is like it looks all Bavarian.
Oh, that's why I've heard it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that? We're Bavarian?
Yeah. But like it's all Bavarian-y.
Isn't that close
And it's
to
got
me?
waterfalls.
Isn't that closer to me than you?
It's 4 hours from here. We have to go up through Athens. I wanted to get back to the first picture. See, isn't that cool?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And they,
right.
yeah. But they have all this stuff.
Oh, you might see you a bear.
I know.
Yeah, that's got to be close to here. That's the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah. Well, Blue Ridge. But yeah, that's where we're going. So.
Now I'm curious. How far away is Helen? Is it 2 L's?
No, just one.
Just one?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia to Asheville. Let's see. 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Oh, wow.
If I take US 64 east.
Mm. See, it's only like 180 miles from here, but it's all like back roads, so that's why it's going to take us 4 hours.
And you're in Aiken, which is outside of
Mm-hmm.
Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's basically halfway between us.
Yeah. Well, if you're bored this weekend, we'll be in Helen, Georgia.
Drinking beer.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a beer person, right?
I am. I just don't like. This is going to sound bougie or whatever, but I'm like, if Bud Light's my only option, I'm just going to drink water. You know, like I like Stella and I like IPAs.
Oh, you like the pinky beers?
Sure,
you hold your pinky out, yeah.
I like IPAs the best, but I like Bud Light, Coors Light, not my thing. So, hold on, let me look.
There might be. I was the same way, and up here, all the beers that I like have just because of the tourism, they've gotten so expensive. Yeah. It's like $8 to $9 a pint now.
Yeah.
So I'm a Budweiser, like in betweener. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If everything's $8 or $9, I'm gonna drink a Budweiser, not a Bud Light. Bud Light's like water.
See, I don't mind like Bud Select or like one of the others, but yeah.
The light stuff just feels like you're drinking bubbly water.
Yeah. I don't mind Amstel Light.
I haven't tried that one.
It's not bad. It's good for like a beach day because it's very light and we don't get it often anymore. Yeah.
You're not going to get dehydrated on the beach and...
Yes, exactly. And we like High Noons.
I don't know what that is.
It's not beer. It's like there's a vodka one and a tequila one, and they're both very
That's why
good.
I don't know what it is. I know better than a touch of liquor.
See, I'm mostly Tito's and soda with some lime or lemon. If I'm doing liquor.
Yeah.
So.
I think we've talked about the Tito's and
I think so.
Before, yeah.
Otherwise, I do red wine.
Yeah, red wine I know is Allison's go-to. I haven't bought another box since the box experience.
That's fair. I've started just like buying a bottle when I'm at the store because we have like a little wine rack. And
yeah, just while you're there, keep them coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart. How are things in ServiceNow land?
They're good, I think.
Yeah, have you done any Vancouver education yet? I know you've been super busy.
we are validating our offering because it's certified on Utah. We're working on getting it good for Vancouver. So that's been the extent
of you getting
yeah.
knowing what needs to be done for it to be on Vancouver. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything stand out like that you were like, oh, this is interesting?
Not yet. I did. So I don't remember if I told you, I teach ServiceNow fundamentals 2 days a week at night.
No, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so...
Apparently, the Mac thinks that's worth celebrating.
Yeah. Yes, and so it was funny because I did all the demos I have to do are in my PDI. And I did Vancouver instead of Utah. I was trying to find something. And I was like, where is it? It had to do with like the taxonomies for Employee Center, and I could not find it to save my life. And what the notes had for the demo wasn't out of box, so I had to go do it on the fly and show the class how to do it because it wasn't out of box per the instructions. So,
oops. Yeah.
So I had to go find where they moved it. So.
And that's a ServiceNow now learning course, right? Mm-hmm. Wow, you're up in there in like with the big boys or big girls.
No, it's for next gen. So they needed some instructors, and so it's 2 days a week for 10 weeks. And it's just like 2 hours on Monday and Wednesday. So yeah.
It's not bad.
Not that big of a deal. No, and there's no prep work. It's fundamentals. Like for me, there's no prep work.
Yeah. It's basically, if you don't know this, you shouldn't be doing your job.
Exactly. If I don't know how to teach fundamentals, or not maybe teach it, but if I don't know the concepts in it, because teaching, not everybody could teach. So.
I've been in your shoes where I'm going to do something and like now it's not working as expected. What's your go-to kind of like how do you keep the car on the road?
Well, so it's a little bit different when you're training because I can't just like BS U-turn out of it because I'm actually trying to like teach them the concepts. So it's a little different, but I was sitting there thinking like, well, I'm an instructor, but I like do this for a living and like I know how to navigate ServiceNow. So I'm like, what if it was an instructor who like, not bashing instructors, but usually they get the content and that's what they know and they're very good at it. But like, what if a piece is missing? Right. Are they going to know how to pivot? Has been like the only question because there's been a couple things that did not match the instructions. Because they give you like a demo script, like it's like click here, click here, click here. And I was like, well, you guys are going to get an on the fly demo. And then, you know me, they had us showing them like Service Portal and Agent Workspace. And I was like, these are deprecated. I'm not showing them. It's not.
You don't bother learning this. Yeah.
Well, I like we had to talk about it, but I was like, just know these are deprecated. They're no longer supported. Here's what we should be using instead. So I was telling my friend, the one that asked me if I would mind, being an instructor, I was like, sure, like that's fine. It's only 10 weeks and there's no prep work. I mean, at all. I just show up and go through the deck. But I was like, I feel bad for these people because I'm like all over the place of like, this is deprecated and this is deprecated. And here are like all these different ways you can do things. She was like, it's probably going great for them. I was like, maybe. We'll see.
I think it's, it's Achilles heel and it's superpower at the same time. Yeah. ServiceNow is kind of like big and broad and lots of stuff is coming out and going away and yeah.
Well, so Monday was catalog items and flow designer. Trying to fit that in 2 hours, like I ran out of time because I'm just like trying to make sure they understand the structure and how it all goes together. And I love flow designer. I taught flow designer. I'm very proud of myself. Wait. And I didn't even mention the old workflow editor. Yay. So.
For catalog items, you mentioned catalog builder or do you stay away from that?
We had to do it in catalog builder for the course.
Yep.
I still don't care for catalog builder. I think it's too many steps.
It's definitely like it's I'm going to get in trouble for saying this.
I totally get it for non-developers who are building catalog items.
Yeah, that's much more appropriate than I was going to say.
I totally understand the concept, but for me, who understands it, it's just way too many steps. But I get it for like non-developers.
Yeah, and you feel the same probably about Flow Designer. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm about to record a video. I haven't done it yet. I was prepping for it last night, and it has to do with Flow Designer. I have an action that posts my video title and date time to Google Calendar on my Google Calendar, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And one of the steps is you have to build a payload for the REST message, right? So you got to build an object, basically, a JSON object. And I had done it with a script. So there's a bunch of JavaScript where I'm formatting the date the way it needs to be, and I'm building the object, putting the time zone in, stuff like that. And in Vancouver, there's this new JSON builder step in Flow Designer. And so I was like, oh, this will be interesting. Let me see what it's like to build it here versus a script. And it literally took like maybe a 20, maybe that's too much, 15-line script into drag and drop into JSON builder. And in order to do my formatting, I was able to do the, you know how you can click the little FX on a data pill and apply the data transformations. So I'm going to record that, but I was impressed with what I had to do in a script before. I was literally able to not know any script and go put it into this JSON builder stuff. So to your point of someone who's not a developer, who's never scripted a day in their life, these tools are great. But it is...
Yeah, no, like I said, it's hard because there's a couple people in the class who have a technical background and they're asking things. And I'm like, that's kind of beyond the scope of this course. Here are the courses you need to go take. Because they're like, are we going to learn scripting? And I was like, no. And if you are, I'm not the girl to teach. I said, I learned by trial and error, and Codecademy is a great website. I was like, here are all the tools. And it's so funny because a lot of people think, oh, if I get my sysadmin, I'm going to get all these job offers. And like, that's not reality. Like, you have to be able to actually, because I'm always like, you need to take ITIL and understand the concept and the theory and how things work together. And they're all like, oh, I'm like, it's great. Get your sysadmin. It's a great thing to have, but it's not going to land you a job potentially. It's a good check the box, but you have to have some of the other concepts.
Yeah. And even technically, skill-wise, it's a good thing to have, but until until a user says, I need X, Y, and Z, and you have to go translate that into something in ServiceNow and then show it back to them. Until you've done that, that's a whole nother skill set, because you might know where to find the taxonomy, but what do you do when the taxonomy doesn't work like it's supposed to? And
or if it's not out of box.
Yeah. Or in the case yesterday when I was doing my script, by the way, I was missing, the error engine said I was missing a closed parentheses. And I'm looking through this script, I'm like, there's no missing closed parentheses. I even sent it to ChatGPT and said, tell me where my missing closed parentheses is. And it goes, it's right here before your input outputs on your function. And I'm like, no, it's not missing there. It was a curly brace further up that was missing. And it was an extra one. And because it was extra, it thought I was missing a parenthesis. So it's like, even the error message is wrong. That's awesome. And it's situations like that until you do them.
Yeah. I will say also, is that the real name of that little bracket? Because I call it the squirrely bracket.
I don't know the official name. I call it a curly brace.
I call it the squirrely bracket.
Squirrely bracket. I might adopt that one. Yes.
Because I don't know what it's called.
I think on the Otterly Owlsome podcast, we should call it the squirrely brace for sure. Yes.
Bracket.
Or squirrely bracket. See, I'm already messing it up.
Oh.
I like drawing them.
I do too. Like sometimes when I'm taking notes, I'll be like, ooh, that's grouped. And I'll group it together.
Yeah, visually it's a good It's because it tells you exactly where to put your title for the group. It's right there in the middle.
Exactly. But yeah, like I said, it's funny to teach fundamentals because I was just sitting there. I was like, man, if I could just sit and teach fundamentals every day, like that would be awesome. Because I feel like it's these people who are like really wanting to learn, and yeah,
they're hungry. Yeah. What you made me think of just now was going back to what I was saying about the script versus the non-script, right? So yesterday and day before yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, pre-sales have been getting fed all this AI material, right? We're getting enabled on the Now Assist stuff. And one of the cool ones to me is Now Assist for creators, which is basically a code helper. You type in a comment and say, I need whatever. But that's in a script. So now, like, do we need the drag and drop data pills? Because now our non-scripters can come in and just tell what they want. So I'm wondering, like,
code.
Where's this going to go? Is the stuff in Flow Designer going to go away now because Now Assist for code makes it easy?
Yeah. Now I will say I went to Knowledge, and while I think I'm very skeptical of AI, not because I think they're going to take over the world or machines are going to come to life. None of that.
You're not a nihilist.
I'm not one of those people. But the script they showed, like that they were touting, is really good. And this is not a dig at ServiceNow. I feel like some of the script was bad. Like it went against like their own best practices.
Yeah.
And so I'm fearful that people will start being like, oh, well, this will just do that for me. And then it's going to eventually get them in trouble down the line. And then so there are certain people who are like, why don't we use AI to respond to RFPs? And I'm like, well, I said, once again, I'm not anti-AI, but what if every company does that? And now everyone has the same responses and it's not unique anymore. And it's not putting like our spin on how we're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm like, you can't just use AI to replace like the human element of things. And that's my issue with it, I think. It's not because I think it's coming to life. I just feel like it's taking the personality out of like who we are,
I agree with you to an extent.
Yes, I know.
And I want to put it out there that I think there are those people, you're exactly right, who are going to, I can have AI do it. And they're going to coast, right? And say,
exactly.
Let me file my legal briefing with the Supreme Court using ChatGPT. Bad idea.
Right.
What I have found my symbiosis with it so far is let me get to a starting point. So like, hey, write this script, or give me this script to, search this string and replace all the, I forget what I've done, right? And it gives me a starting point, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to tweak this and tweak this and tweak this.
For that, I love it.
Yeah.
But it's the people who are just like, oh no, it'll just solve all our problems and we can remove the human element. I'm like, no, you still have to like put in,
Yeah, I think for a creator, right? And I would say a ServiceNow admin falls in the realm of a creator, in that they're creating workflow functionality, right? For them, you can use the AI to jumpstart and feed, but you still need to apply your human.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's great. Here's the tagline: apply your humanity to whatever it is that the AI generated, and that's going to be your value add. And that's going to be our clip.
One thing I will say, so the biggest gap, because I do help with the next gen program, so shameless plug for them, but the biggest gap is if you've never been in tech or know agile, like working from stories is so confusing if you don't know how user stories are written. And so fortunately, ServiceNow training, all of the labs are done with user stories. It still doesn't give you like real life scenarios of, as an incident user, I want the caller's phone number on the field or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it at least starts getting them used to it. But like, that's like the huge like learning curve, is people understanding the whole story concept. And so once again, I'm doing this training and I'm like, here's what a user story is. Because it doesn't introduce it in the course. It just starts using them.
Right. Assumes everybody already knows.
Let's break this down. And I think there was one slide, but it was very quick. And so I was like, okay, let's think about it. here are the pieces, here's what it means, and
Do you have an opinion, user stories versus requirements? Do you prefer one over the other?
Generally requirements are going to be an overarching piece, and the user stories are going to be the components to meet the requirement.
So you still use them together. You're not you're not exclusive.
Yeah. And like for our user stories, one of the things I struggled with when I became an architect was trying to write a user story, but I have all the technical in my brain. And so we created like another field that was like technical approach or technical whatever, just so like we can get the technical out of our brain to write the business story, and the technical helps us upskill our people. Because if it's a junior working the story and maybe it's a little bit more complex and they want to try it, they've got the approach of like, do a on-change client script. I'm not going to write the script for you, but I'm going to give you like, this should be a client script versus a business role, or this should be a script include versus this. And so they get like with ChatGPT getting them started.
Yeah,
it gets them started on how it all plays together.
I like that. That's good for growing and learning, yeah. Mm-hmm. And ChatGPT isn't going to help you through that. That's a situation right there. In fact, I think that's where you might start seeing some bad practices too, where, here's a business rule when it should have been on change or a script or something. So,
yeah. I'm still proud that we stumped ChatGPT last week.
We did, yeah, we did. And actually, so I went back when I edited this past weekend, and because when I edit, I'll show you, I actually take notes, so you can see like I'm writing down everything that we talked about, and then I'll take those notes and I type them up. And so, for example, Indigenous Peoples Day, I was like, let me search this, make sure I spell it right. Is it capitalized? Yeah. Is it not capitalized? Right. So I got to Sandites again. I was like, oh crap. So I went back and I not to ChatGPT, but I went because it didn't work the last time. I Googled it. I have on Google enabled Bard. So when I Google something, the AI will sometimes come in at the top and like summarize it. And it did. It came in and said, Sandites are from Sand Springs, Oklahoma, and it had this little background. I'm like, well, at least one AI knows about it. So
that's funny.
That's 1 for Bard and 0 for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So I bet you didn't know my process was so manual, did you?
Some of it, yes. Some of it, no.
Yeah. Well, I
didn't know you were like Googling and things, but that makes sense.
Yeah, because sometimes we'll talk about stuff I don't know, like Bucky's was one where I didn't know how to spell it. Sand Springs was another one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I knew that one, thank you. Which, by the way, happy birthday, Dexter. He had his birthday.
Yet.
Oh, no?
He had his pictures.
Oh.
So we got... Hey, I got a sneak peek back, so I'll show you.
Just to warn y'all, Allison said he's a ham, and I think he lives up to it.
He does. He only did one creepy smile, so...
Does he do them on purpose? So far. Like, does he know how to do them?
No. So, you know how... Well, kids just, like, go through this phase where they're, like... they just, like,
just show our teeth?
Weird. Well, they just, like, it's so fake. And so, for him, he loves these... We have these books about farting. He's a boy, whatever.
Yeah,
and they're holiday
It's gonna come up.
Yeah, so he has one that's like Gus the Gassy Ghost, and he has one that's Taylor the Tootin' Turkey, and they're all holiday related. But Tootin' Turkey just cracks him up. So whenever he was doing the creepy smile, I'd be like,
laughing.
I'd be like, say Tootin' Turkey, and he would just start dying laughing. And so the little, our photographer, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally using this to get him to smile. And I was like, yeah, you're good. So here is one sneak peek of him. So he will be 5.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It's a little man.
I know. And then we had as well. His little legs crack me up. He's all like just chilling. So those are the only 2 I have that are
that's adorable
sneak peeks. So
and then this service, so they're going to send you like a whole like portfolio of stuff.
Yeah, so she does photo mini sessions. So they're only like 30 minutes, and then she edits them, and then you get the little, what's it called, the print release or whatever. So you just print them whatever sizes you want. So.
Okay. Yeah, she's not into. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, she doesn't do like the print stuff. She just does that. But yeah, he was hamming it up as usual. So, you know.
And he's gonna be 5, half a decade. I think we talked about the last time.
One whole hand.
One whole hand.
That's what he's excited about. So. Yeah.
Oh man. Good
yes,
time.
I got his invitations. Oh, I have a fun story about kindness. So, I ordered his invites, which I'll show you. See, very cute. Shout out to
yes,
Hi L Creative, who created them. So, yay. But they're super cute. And I order them, like I get them printed at Staples. Well, normally I do Vistaprint, but it was going to take too long. And I wanted to get them out earlier. And so I thought, they're supposed to be like same day pickup. And I was like, I'm not worried about same day pickup. Well, they called me and were like, hey, they're not going to be ready today. Can you come in tomorrow at 2? I was like, yeah, no problem. So I go in the next day. And apparently you can now do Amazon returns at Staples, which I didn't know.
Interesting.
And I had one. So I was like, perfect. I'll just do it all in one go. So I go in and the girl was like, I was like, oh, hey, I have a print order. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I have a print order. It said it would be ready today at 2. And she was like, I've been at this station all day. I haven't done any print orders. And I was like, okay. Like, can you just make sure you have it like in your system? And she's like, yeah. So she comes back. She's like, I'm so sorry. It's not done. And like, just kept going. I was like, it's fine. Can you just call me when they're ready? Like, I'm good. I just please let me know so I don't drive back over here until they're ready. She was like, oh my, I'm so sorry. So I go to pick them up. She gave them to me for free.
Oh, wow.
Because I was so nice the day before and didn't like cause a stink. And she was like, it's just, usually people are just so upset. I was like, they're just invitations.
Oh,
like,
God,
it's
the
fine.
poor person, yeah.
I was like,
what has happened to her to make her so, yeah, Jesus.
So I got his birthday invitations for free. So.
Aw.
I know, and then I just felt so bad for her. Like, meeting, like, no big deal. Was, you know.
It's times like that I hate, I don't carry cash, because then I'd be like, oh, here's a 5 for you or something, you know?
Yeah, you're obviously having a rough day.
Yeah. I don't know the last time I've been to Staples, but I think it was probably to buy a printer when I started working here, because I had to print out some form to sign and scan back. So I was like, a printer? I don't have a printer.
No. So my favorite, there's an app on your phone called Scan Genius. I don't know if you've ever used it. Mm-mm. But it's amazing because like our printer, God love it. It's not very old, but it will not stay connected to the Wi-Fi. I haven't tried it with the fiber, but it would not stay connected. And so it was a pain in the butt. You'd have to like bring your computer over to the printer, plug it in, keep the cable. And so the scanning, once again, just too hard. So I use Scan Genius for all my stuff. And it saves it as whatever format and it looks just like you scanned it.
Oh, like for like receipts or whatever. Yeah. I use Evernote. That's what I use.
Yeah. Nice.
I've been an Evernote user since I started.
Yeah.
So. Nice. Well, nice little episode number 33 before you are off to drink a beer in Helen, Georgia. For Oktoberfest. So hopefully you'll get to see some fall colors. I'm
sure we will. It's supposed to only be in the 60s while we're there. I'm so excited.
Yeah. It was 36 this morning and it's leaves everywhere.
Let's see, it's 54 right now. So
yeah, we had a frost. It was nice. Nice and crisp.
We did. All right.
Well, have a wonderful rest of your day. And if I don't talk to you before you leave, have a wonderful time off.
I'm sure I'll send you pictures.
Yes, definitely text me.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, Allison.
Bye.